Hello everyone and welcome to SAFC Fan TV with me, Conrad. We've got Jack Shields and Michael Bowers here with us. We're here to talk about the big breaking news that Phil Parkinson has finally gone, lads. Are we happy, Jack? Are you excited?
I wouldn't say excited. I think his position did become somewhat untenable with the pressure he was under, the poor results that he's had, and the lack of progress. So I don't think anyone was massively surprised. I know the predominant massive amount of our fan base are very, very happy with the news, and I can understand that. You know, his results have been poor and he's been boring himself. So I wouldn't say excited. I just think it's a big appointment now and hope we get it right.
Yeah, same. It's judging their previous track record, it's a bit sort of like now you're actually sitting there going, "Oh God, yeah, this is what they did last time." So, Michael, what were your immediate thoughts after Parky's gone this afternoon?
Disbelief, because I didn't expect it to come before this takeover happens. Obviously, we've had our own discussion on the panel show about that, but I was surprised. I could not see Parky going beforehand, because I'd be amazed if this is not linked whatsoever with the takeover, because there's no way that Stuart Donald's gone, do you know what, I'm leaving the club, but I've got 300k to spare. Let's give Phil Parkinson a massive payoff. There's absolutely no way that they would have done that. But like Jack said, I mean, I was Parky in up until the MK Dons game, and then that was what's changed me to Parky out, because it's just the reactive manager. The style of football, I've said many times, didn't particularly concern me as long as it was effective, but it wasn't effective. We were still conceding goals. It was just too reactive every time. And Parkinson, when it was blatantly obvious to a lot of fans what was going on in the game, Parkinson wasn't influencing it in the best way he could. I can tell. What are your thoughts, Conrad? Though I can tell you look delighted.
I was buzzing. I sort of, like I said on the show, I scrolled past it on Twitter and just saw his face and went, "I'm not even reading it. You don't interest me at all, mate." And then someone put, "He's been sacked," and I had to like scroll back to it and be like, "Oh my God, they're putting that he's gone." And yeah, I was again like, I couldn't believe they'd actually done it. I mean, I think it was on the review we did of, what was the last game? Fleetwood. At the end, we were literally sat here going, "Will they sack him?" We all went, "No, they won't sack him. They'll keep him to the end of the season, and then they'll see where they go from there. He won't want to pay out this money if he's got to pay someone else in." And we were all wrong, basically, at that point. He's acted out. But like you say, is that acting out because there's a potential takeover coming in and the new owners are like, "We want rid of him. You need to do that before we come in and appoint our own bloke"? I still, in the back of my mind, think it might just be because Donald won't make money off us unless we're in the Championship. So even he's probably thinking, this isn't good enough. And there's better options out there than going forward with this. Speaking of the better options, though, Jack, who would you pick at this point? Who would you take to take us forward and hopefully out of this league?
Well, I mentioned on the video earlier, I think Nigel Pearson would be my personal choice. I think he's done well at this level before. He, very nearly kept Watford up last season. I thought that was a good job that he did there. They looked down and out. He didn't keep them up. He did give them a very good fighting chance. Wouldn't surprise me though if the new setup decides to go with someone totally left field. I think that you can get managers from other countries that have done well. Barnsley, I mentioned, have done it a few times. They've had a couple of German coaches. They seem to be flavour of the month at the moment. I know Klopp and Wagner and one or two others have come into English football and seem to do well. So I don't know. Wouldn't surprise if it was that type of appointment. I agree with what Michael said. I think it makes sense that the new setup have been the ones to instigate this. It doesn't make sense for Stuart Donald to have done it. I think Stuart Donald, by all accounts, had quite a good relationship with both Parkinson and Ross. So I think, albeit he sacked Ross, I don't think it's come from him. I think this may be indication that there is wider changes at Sunderland. So me personally, Pearson, but wouldn't surprise us if they went elsewhere and went to someone that we maybe haven't even heard of.
Michael, who do you think will get the poison chalice that it's been sort of lately for Sunderland anyway?
Well, whoever it is, I'm hoping it's someone who doesn't view the job that way. I'm hoping it's someone who's going to be proactive. But I agree with Jack. I think it would not surprise me if we went somewhere that was left field, foreign manager. If we're already apparently looking at a sporting director sort of role. So that suggests to me that we're going to be switching our approach towards how we get recruitment in terms of managers and players. My personal choice would be Paul Cook, because maybe naively at this point, but I still believe in the likes of Grigg. I think there is a goal scorer in there. I think Parkinson's one of the biggest reasons I wanted Parkinson out was because his management of Grigg was abysmal at the start of the season. Paul Cook knows how to get the best out of him. For me, long-term we do need to think about that. But for me, that should wait until we get to the Championship, because the minute we start thinking long-term we're in League One is the minute we accept this is where we belong, and we all know it isn't. So as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't tell you hand on who I think's going to get it. Poyet's been mentioned. Like I said, Paul Cook's been mentioned. Everyone will have different theories on who gets the job. Whoever it is, I'd be very surprised if they were announced before, say, the Wigan game, for example. I think it'll be at least another week, maybe even a couple of weeks until we find out who's going to be Phil Parkinson's replacement.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed in the chat when we were talking on there, a lot of former Sunderland managers' names were dropped in there. You know, you had the likes of Big Sam, you had Poyet, even I think Di Canio was thrown in there. Surprisingly, David Moyes' name wasn't mentioned in that one, really.
I really don't know why.
One person put what was it, Chris Coleman? No, sorry, he put Simon Grayson, and he just got shouted out of the chat there. So
Howard Wilkinson.
Oh God, yeah, he got me. Actually, that was a point. Someone went, "Who was worse, Howard Wilkinson? What football was worse, under Howard Wilkinson or Phil Parkinson?" So.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you in terms of relative, probably Parkinson, but I mean Wilkinson, I think he only won 2 in 22 or something like that, wasn't it?
He did beat Liverpool, and what is it? Parkinson hasn't beaten anyone really. It's been a long time since we've beaten anyone there. I think for me, I'd want to go sort of like I was saying before. I want to go sort of a long-term plan, and I know Michael was saying before your long-term plan in the Championship for where we want to be on there, but I think it's that thing of like, if a manager knows he's here just to get you out of here, his heart's not really in it at this point. And to go like, well, in 6 months' time, I could be out on my arse again at this point on here. Like, you want managers tend to come when they think they've got at least got money coming into it if their heart's not into it. So I'd probably go with the Cowleys, who were at Lincoln, obviously did a good job, won trophies at Wembley, which we've never done. And then Huddersfield. Yeah, exactly. Won a match at Wembley. Then they were stabilised the ship at Huddersfield after they came down from the Premier League, and he was doing all right. So I don't see why we wouldn't sort of try something new. What we'll probably end up doing is, if it's Donald's decision again, as Jack pointed out earlier on, it's a bit of a dangerous thing because he got the job so wrong last time, didn't he, Jack?
Yeah, I think. I mean, the whole reason we got rid of Jack Ross was because the football was negative. He wasn't a very likeable character in terms of his personality, and those are exactly the same things that we're saying about Phil Parkinson, aren't they? Really, I mean, defensive negative football. Jack Ross had lots of 1-1 draws. What are our last 2 results been under Phil Parkinson? 1-1 draws after taking the lead. We haven't converted it into a win. His interviews are boring. I found Jack Ross's interviews quite boring. So I think we've just picked a manager that was exactly the reason that we were failing before. And here we are a year down the line and having to go again and kind of change things again. So however it is, maybe someone with a bit of personality about them, but just get the football playing a little bit, score a few goals, get the best out of the players, because God knows the last 2 managers haven't done that. Exactly.
It's funny you mentioned that about the Ross and Parkinson being the same as well. I mean, it's the same time of year after so many games as well. What was the other thing I was thinking of? You were saying it just then, the 1-1s and what have you. It's gone out of my mind, but there was something else that was just incredible. Oh, Jack Ross, the start of his second season, wanted to play 3 at the back. And then when it wasn't working, they brought in a manager to play 3 at the back and sort of just carry on from this system that wasn't. Jack Ross couldn't get working as well.
I think Conrad as well. The players that were signed have been too similar. I mean, the reason a lot of the time people said the reason we didn't get promoted under Jack Ross, there was a genuine lack of pace in the team. There was a lack of athleticism and a lack of physique and power. You're looking at that now. We're still in exactly the same position. We're very slow in midfield. We're very slow up front. Danny Graham and Charlie White are the quickest of strikers. Do you know what I mean? And there's athleticism missing all over the pitch. We haven't got a great. There's a little bit more, but the players and squad that we've got, we still haven't adapted it to the division that we're in and what we need. The new manager needs to do that. So we've got January coming up. People are saying, I hope there's money to spend. I don't think you really need a great deal of money at this level. I think it's more so the players that you get. The recruitment has to be right, and for too long at Sunderland, going back to Championship and Premier League, the recruitment's been bad. We've signed 2 players, character in terms of character and what they do, what they bring to the team. It's been all wrong, and I think if that's one thing that's going to get us promoted, it's the players we bring in have to be the right type of player, and I think that's where we've come up short in the last couple of seasons.
Definitely. And Michael, just for the final word on here, so not so much who here, what sort of characteristics do you think a manager needs to have to take us forward, that the fans can sort of galvanise and get behind, something that will just drive us forward? What do you think that would be?
Well, for starters, have the attitude of no drop points in this league's acceptable, unless in very, very exceptional circumstances. We obviously know we're not going to win every game, don't get us wrong. But when you had Phil Parkinson coming out with comments like, oh, well, basically implying that we should be happy with the draw at Donny because they beat Ipswich and Lincoln. Whoop-de-doo, do you want a medal? That's not the blueprint that we should be judging by. And someone who is like Jack said, is a big personality, someone who won't take players underperforming, because I believe there have been a number of players in that squad that aren't playing to the best of their ability. I think that if you look at the someone as simple as this sounds, someone who gets the balance right between defence and attack. For me, the big reason we didn't get promoted under Jack Ross the first season was because we were defensively too shaky. We conceded far too many goals. If you keep clean sheets in half of those 1-1s, we get promoted. We walk the league, truth be told. And Parkinson, while I think that at least he had some sort of plan with us defensively, and I could see there was a structure there, he just seemed to sacrifice anything going forward. And like I said, the biggest thing I want is someone who's not going to take underperforming results and performances, and someone who's going to be prepared to make tough calls and let players know your place in this team's not guaranteed. You have to be consistently at your very best to have a chance of being in this 11, and be proactive during games. So we'll see who that is.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, boys, for that on there. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're not too far away. It's free. I think Sean's told me it's free.
I think he did touch on it once or twice.
He's mentioned it the odd couple of times.
I think he's going to put it on his Christmas list, isn't he? All I want for Christmas is a few more subscribers.
Aye.
Good to say. Thanks for subscribing. Remember, tell your friends. It's absolutely free.
Exactly. Well, yeah, thank you very much, everyone. We will see you on Tuesday night when it'll be myself, Jacob and Sean watching us, hopefully, get our first win in a month. It's at home against Burton, isn't it?
We have never beaten at home, by the way. So, yeah.
So there's a first time for everything. Who knows?
Exactly. Records are there to be broken, aren't they?
Exactly.
Like Conrad's on the live stream. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like me being on a live stream and getting 3 points, eh? So we'll see everyone on Tuesday night. Thank you very much.
See you then. Cheers, lads.